To everyone listening, welcome to the Shree Nation podcast. I hope you're having a lovely day, evening, noon, or night. It's currently 1:09 a.m. Indian Standard Time here, and as always, I want to thank everyone who's been here before, and to the new listeners, I hope you're having a good time and stick around. If you're not aware, these episodes are uploaded on Anchor FM, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Breaker, Castbox, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Stitcher, and as of episode 6 on YouTube as well. And you can just search them as the Shree Nation podcast on all these platforms. The links will be provided. Or if you want to hang with me on YouTube, you can do so as well. I'm also on all social platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and the like, and links will be in the description box above or below, depending on where you're listening. If you have any queries, requests, or other reasons to contact me, you can reach me on Twitter, on Instagram, or even in the YouTube comments. I always respond back to all my commenters. Also, just getting it out of the way, I apologize in advance for any background noises that you might hear. I live near a very busy street and I am very new to my podcast, so this isn't the ideal podcast setting yet. So yeah, I'm really sorry in advance. So getting that out of the way, let's get into this week's episode. So, where do we even start? I mean, I'm not someone who talks about like drama or anything. Like, I've never been one of those people who discusses what happened with whom and all of it. I like talking about people who've done something really cool and I like analyzing them. I like to see what it is that's unique about them, this and that. I like to spend time knowing and like observing content creators and seeing what new stuff they've done. But this was new in itself because I've never seen anything like this before. The way Karma acted with all of these people was just bizarre and crazy. I never thought that this was even possible. So I just wanted to kind of, in this episode, I kind of wanted to recap everything that happened because, as of all of you listening right now probably know a lot of the drama that happened with Jeffree Star versus Manny MUA, Gabriel Zamora, Laura Lee, Nikita Dragun, and now it's like Gabriel Zamora versus Manny MUA and Laura Lee versus the entirety of America. And I don't even know what Nikita Dragun is doing right now with all her old stuff being resurfaced. I don't know if she's like even attacked. I don't think she's ever posted anything really controversial. Besides that, there are other people who jumped into the drama, namely Marlena Stell, the owner of Makeup Geek, and then there was a person who is an Emmy award-winning makeup artist called KJB. He has gone into conflict with another beauty influencer named James Charles. I'm pretty sure most of you know who James Charles is. I mean, it is all over the place. It's like the best way to explain it would be the domino effect, and I just could not help but talk about it. It's why I'm sitting here in this sweltering heat without turning on a fan or anything. I don't have an AC, but I am sitting in this hot mess, sweating a lot of balls off with a nice cup of tea to signify this event, because what best beverage to talk about drama, There is only tea, and there's a lot of it. So let me just take a sip. Always good. So in this episode, I just want to go through everything that has happened since the moment that picture of the 4 of these influencers, Manny MUA, Gabriel, Nikita, and Laura Lee, flipping Jeffree Star off. I mean, they say that they were not flipping Jeffree Star off, but they did. Gabriel Zamora did post the picture with that caption, so let's call a spade a spade. So I just wanted to look back from everything that has happened since that moment, and it's quite an interesting event, because this is like days of our lives. This is like a reality show that is happening right in front of us on Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, and on YouTube, because once that happened, and once Gabriel posted his very honest apology, which I really, really admired for him doing that, because that takes a lot of guts to post something like that and be all bare and be like, yes, I was petty and rude and I'm sorry, and then start the domino effect for everybody else to come out. Even Tati Westbrook, a person that I've watched for so long, come out with her own video commenting on the beauty industry. It's like it's an amazing domino effect that has been created, and I can't help but talk about it. So I just wanted to go through everything just so I can get your opinion on it in the comment section below if you're listening on YouTube. If everywhere else, you can just, you know, talk with me on any socials if you want about this. But the first time when the photo was uploaded, I didn't know who Gabriel Zamora and all of these people were. I knew Manny MUA from Jeffree Star, and I did not stumble upon Manny MUA like that, like, oh, for a Jeffree Star collab with him, so let me just subscribe to him. I went to YouTube looking for a makeup video like everyone else. Everyone listening here went to YouTube looking for makeup videos, for tutorials. We go to YouTube for tutorials on cut creases, eyeshadow looks, how to draw on eyebrows, how to put the right foundation, what are the best brands out there, because we're not educated about this kind of stuff, you know? And we don't go to YouTube looking for these influencers and seeing what drama is going on and is what drama is cooking. That's not how regular people who visit YouTube and stumble upon these influencers' YouTube channels think about it first. So that's how I went to Manny MUA's channel. I was looking for some kind of tutorial on something, I can't remember, and then I got to his channel and I thought, this is a very, very charming, charismatic individual. Look, he looks very handsome, he's very sweet, he has a nice bright smile that can brighten anyone's bad day, and that's why I subscribed. And the other people, Gabriel, Laura Lee, and all of these people, I was not familiar with them. I was familiar with Laura Lee through Jeffree Star, and Jeffree Star is someone I followed because of the MySpace days. You know, I was very familiar with who that person is. So as a celebrity, as not just an influencer, I would say, but as a figure in general, I was very interested and fascinated by him, so I subscribed to him, not just for his makeup videos. And he doesn't necessarily post tutorials. He does post them, but it's not his channel is not about teaching you how to do makeup, but it's about the public figure himself, being himself, and talking about luxury brands and affordable brands as well, all of this. So his channel is like a personality in itself. So that's why I subscribed to him. I didn't subscribe to him because I wanted to learn about makeup, but I did subscribe to Manny MUA because I wanted to learn about makeup. The same way I'm subscribed to Kathleen, I'm subscribed to Tati, I used to be subscribed to Michelle Phan. So I think I can speak for most of you here. We don't go to YouTube thinking that there is so much drama in the beauty industry. Let me just, you know, grab my hot mug of tea and sit down and do that. Most of us don't have the time. And I don't understand this ego game that is being played, because when I saw the photo posted by Gabriel Zamora, and I didn't know Gabriel Zamora back then, but I'm a human being. I love drama. Don't get me wrong. So one of the drama channels, they were not necessarily a drama channel. I would say they were a meme channel. Like all these meme channels, you know, Exposed, Shook, this and that. I was subscribed to one of these meme channels, I would say, because they post funny videos of beauty influencers and other people, you know, all of that Tana Mongeau crap. So one of these channels, they posted about this, and I was like, okay, I'm very interested, because they were like, I think Gabriel Zamora's a bitch is better because without him we are doing bitch is bitter because without him we are doing better. I might have misquoted, I don't know. But this happened right after the Jeffree Star Shane Dawson series, right after the TanaCon series. And before I get into the photograph, I just want to say, when I watched the episodes that Shane Dawson had produced, I was so inspired and motivated by the person Jeffree Star, because I've always been a fan of Jeffree Star, not just because of his makeup or not just because of his music, but because of the human being itself. It's a very fascinating individual to watch. It's like following an actual celebrity with his own quirks, his own antics, and his own personality. I like to watch Crystalia, but I don't just watch Crystalia for his comedy, specials. I watch Crystalia because he's funny on Twitter, he's funny on his podcast, he's funny in everything. So I follow the person for the person, the personality within the person. So that's who Jeffree Star was for me. Not just the makeup thing, and not just because of Jeffree Star Cosmetics. I can't afford Jeffree Star Cosmetics, and I don't think they even ship it in India. I have to go to the global store on Amazon or something like that. Anyways, so when this series was released, not a shred of me thought that, there's going to be drama or tea here, because I know Jeffree Star loves to create drama, this and that, and it's entertaining, don't get me wrong, but this series was not about that, and I was so entertained as well as motivated by it, because I saw this personality who is also the brains behind a very large operation and being very successful at this operation. So looking at someone who started from rock bottom and was a complete rags to riches story, that's what I got from this series. With the Tanacon series, there was like a revelation sequence happening. As a writer, I like to look at series for what they are, stories, and this was a very fascinating story with Dan Tanacon and everything, but with Jeffree, it was like an underdog story. It was like watching a movie about an underdog who finally made it, but there's still things that haunt him from his past. His past is coming back to haunt him, but he has moved on, but it still doesn't let him go. So it was like a very fascinating movie in itself, or a television series, so to speak. So Shane has done an absolute fantastic job. I am clapping for what he has done. And this series in itself, for us plebeians, if you can say, was very fascinating, very entertaining, very interesting, very motivating, very inspiring, and very educational series. So that was that for me. When this photo was uploaded, not only did as a viewer or as someone just after the series found it petty, it was not just petty, it was unnecessary, and I can't explain it. It's like high school bullshit, and these people are not from high school. I know Gabriel has redeemed himself and all of it, which I would go to later, but I'm talking about the very moment in the past when he uploaded the picture, and I was like, this is so petty. What the hell? These people represent companies, represent brands, are given tons of thousands of dollars, tons of thousands, not tens of thousands, but they are given tens of thousands of dollars. Sometimes they are making their own, they're launching their own product and are getting millions of dollars, and they're behaving like they this is cafeteria bullshit. Like, I hate that girl. It's like, not just Mean Girls. Mean Girls was an exaggerated satire on people who think that high school is everything, but this is like, someone thought that, like, someone, I couldn't believe it. It was like satire in real life, except these people don't even realize they're being satirical, and I couldn't help but laugh at this poor attempt at sounding bitchy or whatever, and that was that. What I was completely not expecting was the fallback from one single picture. The reason why I'm talking about this is because when I sit down to write a story, if anybody doesn't know, I'm a writer, and whenever I sit down to write a story, I think about, okay, what is the inciting incident, what is the desire, what's going to happen that's going to make my character be this or that, and at the end, how can I make karma seem, like not a coincidental, like, do ex machina thing, but how do I make sure that this doesn't seem like, out of the ordinary. what this happened when this picture was uploaded, and then Gabriel's past, Laura Lee's past, Manny MUA's past, and Nikita Dragun's past was dragged out. This was, in the truest sense, it felt like Stranger Than Fiction. You know what I mean? Like, if I sat down to write a story, never would I ever think about writing a consequence like this, because it just feels like it doesn't happen in real life. And I don't think I have to explain it, because once the shit hit the fan, Jeffree Star's laugh on Snapchat just kind of proved the point. With one laughter, with one entire 10-second reel of laughter, he kind of proved everyone, like, you know, he kind of showed what everyone else was thinking about, because this was like an unfair fight, and whoever threw the first stone got the stone ricocheted back at his face, and it was hilarious beyond belief. You know, it was like something out of a book, except nobody would write a book like this. It can only happen in real life, you know. And it was just fun sitting back and watching everything happen, because like I and anybody else, like anybody listening to this podcast, I think they would agree with me. Like, if you have dirty laundry, you don't try to comment on someone else's clothing. You don't do that. And to be that hypocritical and be like, oh, I don't associate with racist and this and that, and then say the N-word on Twitter and this and that, it's like, okay, if you are guilty of it as well, like, why are you being holier than thou? But that was like not even the point. But the point was that if you're trying to be shady, if you're trying to be clever with whatever it is you're doing, first of all, like, understand that people will look at your past as well, so be careful. And overall, it was just a very unprofessional thing to do, I believe. So I'm gonna get off of it. And the repercussions of all of it was like really funny. What was funnier to me was that the person who initially posted the photo got out of it scot-free, and even gained several 100,000 subscribers after it. Because in my honest opinion, I believe that the apology was really genuine. I believe that is how one does an apology. I think that it was like probably really hard for Gabriel to admit to all of it and be like, yes, I was petty, yes, I was bitchy. I don't think it's really easy to do that, you know, because when there was someone who once said that when people to do bad things, they do it with good intentions. You know, like Hitler killed everyone thinking that he was doing good for Germany. So you can see where the logic is. So I do believe that it was really hard for him to do that. And once you admit that, yes, I was wrong in a particular thing, you grow from it. And the people help you grow from it as well. And they did. They gave him as many subscribers as, like, you know, he probably might have gained in 2 or 3 years. And I think that he will never do anything like this ever again. And he would behave more professionally. And I think that he would get brands to work with him after this and all of it. And this was another, like, this was another, I have to say, an underdog story in front of me happening. Because when he uploaded the apology, I thought it would be like the Laura Lee fiasco. I genuinely thought that, because this was the person who posted the picture. I didn't think that this would be someone who would act so mature. And he did act mature, and I don't know if he took help or he wrote his own apology. He says he wrote his own apology, and somewhere instinctively I do believe him, because this does not sound like a PR thing at all. After the apology, wow, I have to sip my tea here, because this is where it gets fascinating. After Gabriel Zamora's apology came the Manny MUA second apology. I'm doing air quotes right now. I don't know if you can call it an apology or whatever. The first time he uploaded a video, it was about a girl who felt wronged because she went to I believe she went to hug Jeffree Star, and Manny MUA made a face So she was like very hurt by it, and he apologized for that, and he apologized on Twitter for it, which is a good thing, of course. And that was that. And I think he felt like he didn't have to apologize for anything. And what fascinates me about the Manny MUA thing is because I have never seen anyone I've never seen anyone fall this far from grace just for liking something, you know? And then I realized that, oh no, it's not because he liked something, it's because there was a lot of things in the past that he very masterfully avoided, and the consequences were not felt by him. But it's like a domino effect happened in his life as well, because when one domino fell, when Gabriel threw one domino, the other domino started falling as well. Because I've always heard this social climber thing about Manny from a lot of, like, you know, people talk on social media and on in the comment sections, like, Manny is a social climber, Manny is a social climber. And before, like I said, when I was not involved so personally with these people, and, like, you know, not personally, I mean, like, I'm not so emotionally attached to, like, their content and be like, oh, I love them, I'm a fan of them. I'm not that. I go to Manny MUA, I go to their channels for tutorials and how to do this and how to do that, and what are the best products and what are the worst products. So that is the limit of my attention, of my interest to their content. With Jeffree Star, it's different, obviously, but with them, it's just that. So whenever I hear about, like, Manny being a social climber, I used to think that, who doesn't social climb? You know, when you're in an industry where it's like almost like Hollywood, but it's not Hollywood, but it's business most of the time, and you have to know people, you have to collaborate with them, you have to work with them, and say yes and no here and there, agree with popular influencers and popular people and celebrities to stay on PR lists and stuff. I was like, who doesn't social climb? You know, so people social climb everywhere. People suck up to bosses for promotions. People suck up to teachers for good grades. It's like the social climbing thing happens everywhere. And when I looked into the situation more, that's when I realized why people have a problem with Manny MUA so much. It's not just about social climbing. It's about social climbing and then stomping on anyone that he social climbed with, you know. He not only stomped, it's like, I would say he had treated people like ladders. That is the best way to describe it. And I think that's one of the many reasons why so many people can see through it, and so many people have disliked him, because, like I said, people social climb and people interact with many popular people for that very reason, you know, for attention, so they can so it's easier for them to get views, numbers, money, or anything. You know, I've seen that happen, and it's okay. You know, if you want to interact with a person who is either very talented, who is either the best in the game, if you want to, you know, let's say you're a makeup artist and you get an opportunity to collaborate with Jeffree Star or Tati Westbrook or someone like that, obviously you're not going to let go of that opportunity. But people and all these other influencers, I think, got rubbed off the wrong way, because he's treated them as ladders, and once he's climbed the ladder, he's like thrown the ladder away and never looked back at it again. And that is not a good thing, because I believe that if you have the intention of just social climbing, or if you have the intention of learning and having a mentor and being like, oh, I'm very new to this industry, can someone help me out? When someone does help you out, you've created a connection with this person. People are not ladders. People are not numbers. People are people. You know, you have to treat them as persons first. If you meet someone influential in your life, if you meet someone not just influential but very, very talented, or someone who can help you out, someone who is in a better position than you and therefore can help you out, you take the help and you thank them and then you leave, you have lost a very great source of connection, at the same time of future help. Because once you've developed that connection, you can't just let it go. You have a responsibility now to maintain that connection. Of course, if the person is problematic and you can't see eye to eye anymore, of course you leave. But even on passive terms, even if you're a very busy person, you have to still give that extra bit of effort to maintain that connection. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's just like a hello, how have you been? Are you all right? You have to keep that going. But if it's just like, oh, I'm going to climb, and I'm never going to look back at all the people who helped me climb, you build a reputation, I believe, and that's, I think, what happened here. I don't know if Manny had done this on purpose or if he thought that he was doing the right thing by working on his own. People can work on their own, people can only think about themselves. It's fine. But when you say hello to someone and be like, hello, can you help me out? I'm in this jam. If you collaborate with me, like on YouTube, or if you help me out with this thing, I would be very grateful. They help you out. Now you have a responsibility. They have given you something for free. They have given you their time. They've given you their attention. They've given you their help. And you have to maintain that at some level. Or else you are tainted in front of their eyes. And they will not stop losing their influence and their talent and their genius. And they will talk about you. And I believe that's what happened here. And one domino let go of every domino. And I'm not even going to talk about Laura Lee, but I just want to know, because right now, after his everybody's saying it's a PR apology, and I can see it, his apology, which is, again, I'm air quoting it, where he talked about all of these things, about his relationship with Jeffree Star, Patrick Star, and all of these other people. He was trying to be very open and, like, he was being very apologetic and everything, but there was something about it. I can't put my finger on it. Maybe you guys can tell me what I found wrong, but something about it rubbed me off the wrong way. I'd like to know what it is that rubbed you off the wrong way about his apology as well. And I want to know in the comment section if you think that Manny MUA and Laura Lee can ever come out of this and regain the popularity that they once had, because I've never seen something like this happen before, especially with Laura Lee. What happened with Laura Lee, and Laura Lee had like a good reason to lose followers. She had said some really weird stuff in 2012, and I don't know why she said that. Maybe she was like, I don't know, maybe she was drunk, or maybe it was like intentional. I don't know, but it was like, I don't know. What I'm trying to say is that I don't understand what her mindset was when she tweeted those, and she said it was a retweet, which also did not work well in her favor. If you tweeted something, you wrote those words, you felt those things, and you said it out loud, you have to own it now, and you have to own it and be like, okay, I said these things, I am really sorry. And you can't blab and cry and drool about it. You have to just say it. Like when I make a mistake, I apologize right away to anybody that I did wrong. When I know I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And sometimes whenever like someone else has done wrong, but I told them something to do and they're like, I fucked up, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's okay. It's not your fault, because I gave them a task to do something and they fucked up, and I said it's okay, so that's just like an extension. But what I'm saying is that when you yourself have done something wrong, you can't be like, I was stupid and I was crazy. No, I did that. I'm a human being. I have my own prejudices, my own shortcomings, my own problems. I'm going to work on them, and I'm really, really sorry. And that's it. You don't have to drool about it. But with Laura Lee, I understand why she lost so many subscribers. She genuinely did something wrong. But with Manny MUA, it's a very fascinating thing. That's why I'm talking about it. That's why I'm making an entire podcast episode about it, because he lost subscribers right after the Gabriel Zamora thing, because people were saying that in their minds they always knew that Manny was a social climber, but they still stuck with him even though he was, because they didn't know the full story. I believe that people were wondering, and you can correct me or, tell me I'm wrong. I believe that people like heard about Manny being a social climber here and there, but they wanted to hear it from an actual influencer's mouth. I believe they wanted that certified, approved, tested okay evidence that Manny actually was a social climber. They needed that validation. They were like, I always knew that mother ever was, something was problematic about him, because it's like a thing where I won't even call it Schadenfreude because that happened afterwards, but it was like really fascinating for everyone to look at their downfall and be like, yeah, I'm gonna unsubscribe and all that. And I have to say, I've not like subscribed to Laura Lee or anything, but when I used to refresh, the way she lost her subscribers, that was just crazy. I was like, what the hell? And I can't help but laugh that, this like one picture caused this. One photograph with one caption caused this. It's crazy to even imagine that. Can you imagine? Like, I can understand if I say something like really ridiculously racist, and of course, like Laura Lee said something really racist, but that was like not the reason why this happened. It was like the repercussion, like that okay, you're gonna bring someone's past out, I'm gonna bring your past out. That's what happened. But the domino effect, the fact that the first domino was this picture, just, I can't believe it. I laugh every time I think about it. It's like, it's crazy what one single thing can do to you, and what the unintentional consequences that your actions have, even if it's a mild action about just shading someone for no particular reason except that you're just having fun and you're drunk or whatever, and you're like, he's getting a lot of clout, let me just like say something mean. It can be as simple as that, and it can ruin careers. I want to know from you as well if you think Laura Lee can jump back and be popular again, because I don't think so, because this is like I don't know what her name was, someone who went crazy racist on Twitter or something, on Instagram, I don't know. And I don't think you can redeem yourself from racism. And like, it's really funny to me because your past was your past, and it would have been like, nobody would have even cared about it, because they would be like, it's just some beauty influencer, who cares what they tweeted 10 years ago or 5 years ago, whatever. But oh my god, this was just like crazy. And this also caused a lot of other people to surface and resurface and say a lot of things, because I don't think that it was necessarily the picture that caused it, but the picture caused the old tweets to resurface, and the old tweets caused the apologies to surface, if you can call most of them apologies. But Gabriel Zamora, I think, started the second domino effect, where he talked about Manny MUA really as clearly as he can, validating every thought or rumor that anybody has ever heard, causing them to unsubscribe from him. And once Manny MUA brought out that whatever that apology was, I think that caused a lot of other people to speak out, especially, I think, Marlena Stell and Tati Westbrook, I think, because Marlena Stell, the owner of Makeup Geek, I didn't hear about Marlena Stell, but I've heard about Makeup Geek a lot, because it's one of like the affordable brands. I still can't buy them in India. I don't know if they're available in India, but I was always like, I've heard of the name, and I was like, okay, if I ever get the chance to order a Makeup Geek palette or anything, I will, because I've heard lots of positive reviews on it. And since, someone had started it from the ground up, I always love supporting influencers and anybody who have done their own thing, and like they've orchestrated this thing by themselves. It's a very admirable thing. So that's that. But when she talked about it, about influencers being greedy and influencers just not being genuine, and then Tati Westbrook, I think Tati Westbrook's video was the purest of them all, because she didn't have to shade anyone. She just spoke the truth, and her truth shaded everyone. She was like the most elegant of everybody, like that's how you talk about something that is disturbing you regarding someone. You don't name them, you don't diss them, you don't use them for your profit, you don't drag them down, you just talk about it and give your 2 cents without being too critical or harsh. And I think she handled it so beautifully, and it's one of the reasons why I love her. And I do miss the old times when it was just, like Michelle Phan and her and all of those people, and it was just about contributing, and it's about educating the people about makeup, because that's how and I believe most of you got introduced to these beauty influencers. We didn't get introduced to them because of drama. I got introduced to Gabriel Zamora because of drama, and I want to talk about it later, but I worry if that is the only thing he would be remembered for, because now he's under a positive light, and I hope that he I'm just going to talk about it right now. I just hope that he doesn't base his entire empire, the empire that he will have later, on this particular thing, on drama, because just being someone who was known to have caused drama, and then starting your own thing, and just like hoping everything is just based on this one particular thing that caused you to go up the ranks. If that is all you base your career on, it's not going to be a very healthy thing. It's not going to be a very happy ending for you. If you genuinely are someone talented, knows a lot about makeup, if you either launch your brand or remain an influencer and work with really, really huge brands, and if you can transform yourself into a professional, that's when I will stick around Gabriel Zamora's channel, because, as I said, most of us don't have the time to just know about what other people did wrong. We go for those kinds of tea once in a while, but drinking too much of that tea will also scald your mouth. So it's not just about the drama all the time. Sometimes we all do genuinely want to know how to cut a crease, or how to apply a contour, all of this stuff. We people are here not just to get entertained, but to get educated as well. And the beauty community currently are doing both of these, educating us as well as entertaining us with all the drama. So you have to maintain that balance. And I hope Gabriel Zamora maintains that balance, because after the apology, I feel like he's someone who has struggled to get to the top, and he is somewhere in the middle. He thought that in order to climb the ranks, I have to behave like my peers, and if I engage in drama, if I talk about this person in a shady way, this and that, I'm gonna get some extra attention, like taking the shortcut, as we say. That would help me out. He did that once, he learned his lesson, and I hope he moves on from that kind of an antic and just focuses on makeup, just focuses on lookbooks, and just focuses on brands and this and that, because I will hang out in his channel if he redeems himself that way. That's that. And I hope he's not the one who causes drama like he did with this picture. That's what I'm trying to say. I hope, like, if he's ever involved in drama, I hope like it's someone else attacking him for something and he's like responding back, clapping back. I'm okay with that, but I just hope it's not him again who is throwing the first stone, if that makes any sense. So in that way, I just hope Gabriel Zamora has redeemed himself. Okay, that point over. And Laura Lee, there's nothing to say about Laura Lee except that her apology was a really funny video. I was really entertained by it. And you can't really apologize for something like that. You say something really racist or homophobic, you have to own up to it. You have to be like, I said that, and I am so sorry. And you can believe me or not, but I am trying my best now, and I am not an asshole anymore. And I hope you guys educate me for the rest of my life and call me out for any bullshit. If she owned up to it like that in the video, I would have had so much respect. I'm like, okay, I understand. You said you're an Alabama girl or whatever. I'm not from America. I don't know what Alabama people are like. I don't think they're all racist like the way she's painting them out, because it's 2018. People, if people were racist in 1950, I would understand. Right now, I'm pretty sure everybody is educated and everybody knows, like, racism is wrong. There might be one or two weirdos out there, but I don't think like the entire city or country or state or whatever is to blame for something. So that out of the way, Manny MUA's situation is very interesting right now because I don't know where he stands now. I don't know if he's ever going to be able to come back from this, and because the social climber status that he had what was always there, like somewhere in some comment section or some tweet or some Instagram comment, I would hear that, hey, Manny is a leech. He is a social climber. He uses people and throws them away. I heard it from people. To hear it from an influencer is a completely different thing. To hear it from an influencer / friend is an entirely different thing. And I think we saw the repercussions of that right now. So once his apology video came out, Marlena Stell's video came out talking about influencers and all of that. And then there was this weird side drama, the kind of tea I was not expecting I would get, with James Charles and Kevin James Bennett, an Emmy award-winning makeup artist, not a beauty guru or a Instagram influencer or a YouTube makeup artist, but an actual MUA who's worked with celebrities and has won an award for it. I don't know this Kevin James Bennett person. I don't know if that's a good person or a bad person, if it's a shady person or if he's just someone who is salty, or I don't know if he's being genuine. But this was like a kind of drama that I was not expecting. But this happened right after the Marlena Stell video, and I believe that, let me see if I'm right or wrong. I don't want to mistake anything here. So basically, to my knowledge, a YouTube channel, a makeup YouTube channel called, I don't know if it's a makeup YouTube channel or if it's just a channel called Pretty Pastel Please, posted a video, I believe, that said that YouTube influencers, and I don't know if it's an Instagram influencers or not, I have to watch the video, but she said that influencers get $60,000 for sponsored posts and 85 to 90, I believe, I might have misquoted, close to that amount, an average of $85,000 for negative reviews on competitive brands. She said that. So when she uploaded this video, I didn't watch it. I heard about it after the whole drama between James Charles and KJB started, KJB being Kevin James Bennett. But when I heard about it first, I was like, are we even surprised? Are we even surprised that influencers are getting paid all this money? Because let's face it, I'm a new YouTuber and I'm not monetized. I haven't reached the threshold of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch time yet. I do this just for fun. I do this not for the money, but to build a community. I do this because I want to know people and I want to entertain. At the same time, I want to see where I can take myself, like I want to see what I'm made of, what I'm good at talking about. And so therefore I'm just like experimenting with myself and also at the same time interacting with new people. But because of my amateur status, I'm just learning, so I'm able to just post one video or 2 videos in like 2 weeks or a month. I'm just learning and I don't know, and now I'm pretty sure about what I post. So before I go into this, I just wanted to comment on something. I haven't posted a video in a while, if you might have noticed in my channel. I apologize for it so much. I am so sorry. The reason being that since I am from India and since I'm from a third world country, I am also not very rich, and I was looking for a job and I was like giving interviews and stuff and this and that. I was running everywhere, so I didn't get any job because like my degree of English literature apparently doesn't give a lot of opportunities. So I either have to study at a university and get another degree to be a teacher or whatever, or I can just, do something else. And I am definitely not going back to university. 1, because I can't afford it, and 2, because, well, I'm not fond of the school, university, academic atmosphere, because I'm such a monkey. I jump around everywhere that anything and everything, including my writing, gets 30 minutes best of my attention. I'm going to talk about that some other day. This is not about that, but I'm just saying that I really apologize for not uploading any videos. Right now, as I'm recording this podcast, I've already recorded for another video that I'm working on. I'm going to upload it next week, so look out for that. It's going to be in the same format of my recent video, Content Cop and the Dangers of Typecasting, where I talked about iDubbbz, Joji Miller, aka Filthy Frank, and Bobby Burns. So if you haven't watched that video, you can check it out. But this new video is going to be in the same kind of style and same kind of a format. So I apologize for not uploading, and I hope you guys stick around for that. So really, really sorry. Anyways, so what I wanted to talk about was that when Pretty Pastel Please uploaded this video, I kind of already knew about this kind of stuff happening, because let's face it, who would make videos every single day if you were not being paid exorbitant amounts of money? As a YouTuber, shout out to all YouTubers out there. As a YouTuber, I understood that it takes a lot of time to edit. It takes a lot of time to come up with your ideas. It takes a lot of time to edit, upload, and remake new videos, and also stay active with the community and interact with the people who've left comments and who request for more stuff. It's really fun, but it's also a lot of work. So for someone to do this every day, you're gonna need help. And the only way you can afford this kind of daily help is if you're being paid good amounts of money. And of course, like when I heard about talking about sponsored products and getting paid for it, people talk, I've seen influencers talk about products like it's made from the nectar of the gods. They talk about a product like it's something that can only be found on planet Jupiter and no one else, and if you don't buy it, you're going to miss out on the greatest deal of your life. You're never going to get anything like it. And they're talking about a foundation, they're talking about a concealer, they're talking about a beauty blender, a highlighter. It's insane to me. And the only reasoning I can come up with is if they are being paid to say so, because when I shop for makeup, when I look at makeup, there's so many strangers that you always want to look for variety. Oh, I would like to try this today. Oh, I would like to try that today. Some influencers only talk about one particular brand. It's like you see it. So I was not surprised when this video came out. I think people already know about this, and that was that. But the whole $85,000 average for posting a negative review was really alarming. I was like, wow, this is some serious cutthroat competition going on. If this is true, let me be clear, if this is true, I don't know if this is true yet. This is just someone talking about it. A legitimate company came out and say it, and I'll be like, wow, someone just threw everybody under the bus today. But besides that, what happened with this pseudo semi drama was that Kevin James Bennett, aka KJB, responded to this video with a comment, I think, saying that I was mistaken. I think I'm mistaken. I think that Kevin James Bennett was someone who thanked Marlena Stell for the video and said that this is how it is done. And he talked about the influencers being paid all of this money for either sponsored posts and or talking negatively about particular influencers. And he thanked Marlena Stell for her video, and he posted it on Instagram, I think. And then that was that. And then Pretty Pastel Please also released the video. And in Pretty Pastel Please's video, James Charles, I believe, commented and said that the person, KJB, was not to be trusted, and that James Charles was in a Facebook group called, Beauty and Style Friendship Club, I believe that was what it is. I might be mistaken, and that KJB was part of it, and that he apparently did not have a good experience with KJB, and also made some claims that he was fired from actual jobs for talking poorly about influencers on set during campaigns, and also I believe called him actual trash. So that was that. And then I believe that KJB responded somewhere, I don't know where, but he responded that, like, we criticized you for your eyebrow look and you went off, you cis popped off. So and he also ended the conversation with, if you like, if James Charles is accusing is claiming, not accusing, claiming KJB got fired from jobs, then he better have hard copies, not hearsay, because he might sue James Charles for defamation. So that was what happened. I was like, oh my god, what is going on here? And like, when I first heard about this here and there, like, I was like, okay. But that's the thing. Like, first of all, as I think most of you listening to this probably thought the same thing that I'm thinking about, that we know that these influencers get paid a lot of money to talk about brands, to promote a brand, and the whole talking negatively about a brand. I didn't know that, but it's like, I don't know if it is true or false. Let me just be clear about that. But in my opinion, I will not be surprised. I would not be surprised, because if there is competition, I can't remember which I can't remember which joint it was, but it was apparently a fast food joint, and a competitor fast food joint burned down their competition's fast food joint next door. They burnt it down. They went that far. So I'm not surprised if this kind of thing actually happens. Competition is real, rivalry is real. So if some brand went that far to bring down their competition, I would not be surprised. Of course, we don't know if this is real or false. But it's like, but the whole thing about influencers getting paid exorbitant amounts of money, I'm pretty sure, because I've heard somewhere that influencers get paid $1,000 to $5,000 for a Snapchat review. For a Snapchat review. I mean, we're at that phase now, so I'm not even surprised, to be honest, And but okay, money is all right in front of my eyes. If you're getting paid to do something, mazel tov. You have successfully monetized creativity, or you've successfully monetized your craft. Mazel tov. You have done it, what most are trying to do. What ticks people off and what ticks me off is the greed behind it. So if this is true, and like, if influencers are actually doing it, the greed factor is enough for me to stop watching beauty influencers altogether, because the problem is, when one fish is tainted, one fish is sick, he taints the entire pond. You know what I'm saying? And by that, I mean that if one influencer has done this, God knows who else have done this. Like, how many people are actually in on this kind of activity? So my thing is, as someone who comes to YouTube and goes on the beauty section of YouTube, comes here to learn about makeup, to learn about products, and learn about how to apply techniques and what are the best brushes for foundation, contour, and this and that, someone like me who's here for educational purposes only, I don't know whom I'll be able to trust, if it's just about affiliate links and money, or is it just about an influencer genuinely appreciating a product from a company. Like, this is genuine. I wear this every day. I love this product, and you can use it too. If it is just as genuine as Gabriel Zamora's apology, or is it is someone getting paid because of this, because of saying this? So if you are just, my thing is this, if you are just here to advertise something, just advertise something. I am fine with advertisements. Advertisements are what help people eat, but you have to be genuine about it. And even the negative reviews now, I don't know if any negative review is genuine or not, because it's really easy to say something bad about someone, because I love movie reviews, and the two movie reviewers I watch are Jeremy Jahns and Chris Tuckman. Now, if Chris Tuckman says that a movie is trash, and if Jeremy Jahns gives some movie a dog shit review, I go and I'm like, okay, they said dog shit, but are they telling the truth? the first time I got introduced to Jeremy Jahns and Chris Stuckman, I was skeptical. I was skeptical about their opinion. So I watched the movie myself, and I'm like, oh my god, they were actually easy on this movie. This is bad. This is worse than dog shit. This is worse than any review Chris Stuckman has ever done. This is the worst movie I've ever watched. So 2 or 3 times after that, I now genuinely trust these 2 movie reviewers. Whenever they say a movie is bad, I believe it to the core and I don't waste my money. That's what I'm saying. Now, if I go to a beauty influencer or a beauty guru's channel, they say that this product is bad, it's trash, never buy it again. How do I trust this person's opinion? Are they just being paid to say it? Or is the product genuinely as bad as they are claiming? So I think many people right now are all ticked off after this domino effect because they don't know who to trust anymore. They're not here just because they're very emotionally attached to some influencers. Many people are. They're fans. They're genuine fans. They support them. They support these influencers. But other than that, like there are 3 circles. I believe in the deepest, in the most inner circle are the fans, and outside they're like, passive like fans, and then there are casual viewers. I was a casual viewer of Manny MUA. And now, as a casual viewer, my only intentions are, what is this product? Is this good or bad? And how do I apply this using the right technique? I don't even know if I can trust that person with that simple task. So I believe that is the reason why so many people are pissed off at the beauty industry and all these influencers. And I hope that is not the scenario anymore, because the industry will flop and people will go out of their way to demand credentials from beauty gurus and like, are you certified? Have you learned from an academy? And even so, they will not be able to trust that person anymore. So James Charles has said that he doesn't know if this happens for real or not. Maybe it does happen, it does not. I do like that response because James Charles might not be affected by it, but he himself can't speak for other people. So I like that. I like that response. But besides that is my thing. That is my thing. I am a fan of Jeffree Star. And I'm a fan of Jeffree Star because Jeffree Star, if he's making a makeup review or something, I believe it because he doesn't need the money. He doesn't need the $85,000 to post a negative review about a product. He doesn't need it. So in that way, it is genuine, I believe. And I'm a fan of Jeffree Star because of the personality. Because I've been with this person I've been watching this person for a long time, since like his music days and MySpace and everything. So the personality I love, but with other people, these like I didn't even know who Gabriel Zamora was and all of it. Now I'm interested, so that's that. But once the Dramageddon is over, and this is where I'll end this conversation. Once the Dramageddon is over, and I'm already seeing the golden age of Dramageddon right now. I believe that Dramageddon is coming to an end. We shall see if there is anyone else who brings up any more drama like the James Charles versus KJB thing. We all love our tea, but it's not always about tea. And once this is over, I would like to see how Manny MUA and Laura Lee come out of it. But besides that, where was I? Yeah. Once the Dramageddon is over, I don't know how everybody is going to observe the beauty community after this. It's going to be really hard to trust anybody, and I just hope people are not duped by beauty influencers anymore. That's what I want to say, because it's really hard to, now that this has come out, it's going to be really hard to trust any MUA on social media, on YouTube anymore. But I just hope that people after this entire fiasco has come forward, I believe that I hope that people are not duped people are not duped into buying products that aren't actually good, or people are duped into thinking that products that are actually good are complete trash. I just hope people are not conned because of greed, And I hope that Manny MUA teaches all of you people, and even like he has taught me, to never ever consider people as ladders. Because when you get into a cutthroat dog eat dog competition, if you're ever in any, I'm not talking about YouTube, I'm not talking about the beauty industry or anything, if you ever get into a very competitive zone in a job or in sports or anywhere, you tend to think of people as like, oh, it's either you help me or I crush you. Don't think of people that way, because once you develop a connection, you don't know the limits to that. People are not a computer. People are not but gigabytes and megabytes. People are the best way I can describe is people are non-binary, not in a gender sense, but I believe like in a very in the mindset and in the behavior, people are very non-binary. They're not binary. They're not black and white. They're not zeros and ones. So if I develop a connection with someone, whether it's someone very influential or whether I am helping someone or whether it's just a friend, a peer, whatever, I don't know the limits to that connection, and I'm always very fascinated by that. So I always like to maintain connections, and I always like to stay friends with people, even though we're just hanging out, we're not helping each other or anything, just over coffee or over tea, over some drama, is something also that I love, because you don't know the limits to that friendship, and you don't know the limits to that connection. You always need to respect that. You always need to respect people for being who they are. People first. And once you get the money, once you get the fame, or once you get the desired result, if you let that person go, understand that the desired result, fame or money, is temporary. It's designed to diminish. It's designed to fade away. A connection will only fade away if one or the other or both people allow it to fade away. That's the beauty of human connection. And if you really have a problem with a person, like Manny MUA said in his apology video, that there was a miscommunication and there were like lots of things that where we hurt one another. If you've been hurt and you think that you have miscommunicated, there is only one solution: communication. Direct, face-to-face communication. Like, hey, you bitch, you hurt me, I am very angry right now, we either sort this out or I'm leaving. It is as simple as that, as harsh as it is, because the person that you're talking to has been there for you for a long time. You have to respect the other individual for having the mindset of not letting go right away and be like, you know, how dare you call me a bitch, fuck you, and they'll just leave. You have to respect them enough to be headstrong enough to get some harsh words and the harsh truth from you. And believe it or not, I don't speak for like, I don't know, like people who can't even handle a little bit of criticism and just want yes men. I don't know about those people, but people who have been in the game long enough and people who've climbed up a lot without the help of anyone, they, believe it or not, you have to respect them enough to and understand that they can handle criticism. And if you do say that this particular thing bothers me, you have to respect them enough to respect you to not do it again. That's, I believe, how people are. People are really careful about offending others, you know? And people are really careful about offending the others. People are really careful about offending others that they hang out with on a daily basis, because these are the people who they know that they will stick with them. So because of that connection, they respect that connection. So just blaming it on miscommunication is not enough, because the antidote to miscommunication is communication. So I believe that I hope that Manny MUA's entire ordeal has taught all of you, like it taught me, to never, I've always known this, but it's like it's really nice to see it solidify and be proven again to be true, that you don't use people as ladders. You don't use people, period. But if you're like, I'm here because you're famous and I would just love to collab so I can get some followers, be direct about it. Be open about it and be like, Yeah, that's what I'm here for, but I would also like to develop a connection. People will respect you for your honesty. As brutal as it is, people will respect your honesty. If they disrespect your honesty, that says more about them than it does about you. Well, I think that is where I'm going to end this entire rant. I hope you guys have stuck around till here. Well, if you want me to discuss any other topic with you all, please feel free to comment down or engage with me on Twitter or on Instagram. My links would be available in the description box, or you can just talk about it here. I love to hear from you, and I hope you had a good time listening to this episode. As always, be yourself, love your peeps, and always, always remain a kid at heart. Until next time.